Alright guys, so I wanted to go over something that a lot of people have been using on their builds lately, and I noticed that a lot of people think it's a more expensive or a tool that's not often seen in a lot of toolboxes, and that's going to be the Rivnut and the Rivnut installation tool. So it is pretty simple. Basically, it's very similar to a regular riveter, and except that it's going to allow for a threaded insert so you can put a regular bolt or a machine screw in, and it's super simple. Only takes about a couple of seconds to actually use. And the car that we're going to be doing this work on is my all-wheel drive Mini Cooper, which we've engine swapped with a 4G63 engine out of a Mitsubishi Eclipse 1992, so a 6-bolt. So it's a lot of fun. And one of the things that we're trying to do, we're trying to take out this old and kind of gross-looking overflow bottle, and we're going to try and get something a little bit newer using one of the spare parts I have in the garage. So one of the first things that we're going to do, we're going to drill holes. And we're going to go ahead and mount that bracket right here. So we've gone ahead and drilled some holes here in our upper radiator core support, and that's where we're going to be mounting this bracket. Alright, so one thing to keep in mind here, so we've drilled out our 3 holes. The way that the Rivnuts are going to sit, they're actually going to stick through kind of no matter how you have it configured. So you want to make sure that it's stuck in a way that's not inconvenient for you. So in this case, if I had it threaded like this and I put my nut through, or my bolt through, it would pull on this, which is helpful in terms of strength, but the issue is I'm mounting it underneath here, which means as soon as I try to make it sit, it's not going to want to sit flush. So this part is going to end up pushing it outwards like that. So if I flip it and put it the other way, this way, then I'm able to actually mount it flush and keep the bracket in the sense that I want it, in the orientation that I want it. So that's just something small to keep in mind with these. So we're mounting it that way. Alright, so some of these things are reverse threaded, which is a little bit weird. This nut on the outside, and it all makes sense, but this one you're going to turn to the right to loosen it. You're going to take this insert out, put it somewhere safe, and then this piece here, it's also reverse threaded. You're going to use your key, and you're going to turn that to the right, and that's going to loosen it as well. And these are important because these are made specifically for each individual Rivnut. So there's a different one, different set for each size that you're going to use. So in our case, we're going to use 1/4-20. So that's what this is. So we're going to actually go ahead and put it back in. And again, keep in mind it is reverse threaded. And this piece back here, you're going to want to hold on to that. That's what allows the whole assembly to rotate, and you'll see why that matters here in a bit. It's nice and snug. Put your insert on top, and again, note that it is reverse threaded. And the reason that these are reverse threaded is they don't want these to unscrew while you're trying to put your Rivnut on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the Rivnut on with the flush part coming back, and you're going to want to screw that all the way in as tight as it goes. Don't over tighten it, because then you'll end up loosening your assembly, which is again reverse threaded. So now you're going to just insert into the piece, and you're going to end up squeezing on the handle. It is a little bit difficult, but you're going to want to make sure that you keep it as flush as possible. So that way you don't have a gap in your piece. Now don't over squeeze it, because you will ruin the threads if you do. But now that it's squeezed all the way in, you can see that it's mushroomed out. So that way it's clamping outward on our metal piece. And if you make sure it's just nice and snug, now, because it's reverse threaded, you can just turn this to the left and not ruin or unscrew the entire assembly. And now we've successfully put threads in our piece. Now there's a few different reasons to do this over drilling and tapping. Sometimes with drilling and tapping, you just don't have enough thickness to get a lot of threads for what size you need. So this allows you to have a lot more thread engagement, as well as some pretty good clamping ability to not strip it out, because these are steel inserts. So we can go ahead and put our other pieces in as well. And after you ruin your first one, you'll learn pretty quick how much force is too much. And that's it. Now we just need to put our other holes in place. And now we can actually mount this bracket up, and then we can get everything else set up. All right, so what we're gonna do first, just because of how tight it is, we're gonna go ahead and mount our bracket onto our other bracket right now. So we've gone ahead and bolted on this Weaponar oil catch can, and we've modified it a little bit to be used for our purpose. And we added a sump fitting on here instead of a drain port, and this will actually attach to our radiator cap area, our overflow, and that's going to tee in here, and we'll see what the level is. These will just be our drains. All right. So it is, again, pretty simple, easy thread to find matches for. We just drove down to Lowe's and got a whole box of these. 1/4 bolts, machine screws. All right, and so now it's super secure. Only thing that's going to move is the rubber mount, the flex, and the shaft there. And we'll go ahead. We can put our drains going down to the floor for any overflow, and we can just pull this hose off, get rid of this old dirty thing, and we can reconnect it to the bottom. All right, to get a Rivnut tool like this, the link is in the description. It's on Amazon, under 20 bucks. And also be sure to pick up some of the different size fittings that they have in there as well. I'll put the links all in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Definitely want to subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. That's going to let any of these other videos that come out, whether it's the all-wheel drive Mini Cooper build, or whether it's updated projects on the 600 horsepower Genesis Coupe, or whether it's just other simple, helpful tool tidbits like this, or even just welding stuff. So again, go ahead and check all that stuff out. Subscribe. initialdiymods.com. Go there as well. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and pretty much all the other social media thingies, even if I don't know how to use it. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. I have to scratch my nose. Hold on.
On camera.
To Initial DIY Mods.
Oh my gosh.
For the ladies. For all 4% of you. No, what was I saying?